This continuous improvement effort, to me, is one of the biggest things we've got to undertake in an incredibly successful way if we're going to win in Kodiak 3.0.
My name is Chantrell Riles. I am the dispatch manager here at Barton Supply. The issue we were having here in the Aurora location was the truck turns. The issue was we were finding our drivers waiting long periods of time to get loaded. The biggest issue we kind of found was in our rebar department and a little bit in our warehouse because our drivers, when we load our trucks, we have multiple departments that we have to go to get loaded. What if we move this a little closer to our loading area? Instead of driving 100 feet to go get a pallet, let's bring it 50 feet closer, So those type of experiences is kind of what we experimented with. After running multiple experiments and kind of moving some stuff around, it took us a while, but we got to underneath an hour after kind of making some adjustments. Laura, she taught me patience. A lot of times I would get kind of frustrated because, during, LAI, this training was new to me. She taught me how to slowly but surely grasp certain things.
Cycle 4, I worked with our hardware division, and we have locks and keys. Last year we found out that we were unable to meet the demand of our customer. We wanted to focus on what can we do to help alleviate the strain that this employee was undergoing so that way we could meet our demand. We did a secondary time study, and we found that we actually shaved 57 seconds off of our observed cycle time. Because of this, we were able to reach our tack time. When you see an employee just be like, this is no longer hard. I actually enjoy coming to work now because I'm not hunched over my desk, or I don't have a 2x4 creating a mechanical stress point in my leg anymore. Major things that I learned with that is to be gentle but forceful. You have to get the employee on your side, but at the same time, you have to be able to push them out of their comfort zone.
So my name's Linda Valencia. I work at American Builder Supply Tampa Truss. I'm a continuous improvement manager trainee. Our company is a construction company. We are in charge of doors, windows, multifamily homes, and trusses and lumber, which is my division. The problem that we worked on for cycle 4, which was the last cycle from the LEI trainings, was the higher business problem of overtime by the loaders, which are the forklift operators that are in charge of clearing the assembly line and also loading the trucks. But that was actually caused by rework from missing trusses that resulted in customer claims. We made a finished product at the end of the line to have a visual map of where the jobs were and the parts that made up each job. So that reduced the amount of missing trusses. So our result is that we went from a total number of missing trusses per total number of jobs of 6% in January to less than 2%, to around 1.3% now in May. Our process first started with the observations, which were time studies doing the Yamazumis. We can visually explain which are the waste activities and the value-added activities. And that was crucial in the moment of explaining the experiment that we wanted to do to management. For my cycle 4, Karen was really helpful. She gave me the tools to be the leader and take decisions for the whole team. As my role as a manager trainee, I needed to make some tough decisions as well. I really thank her for that, and it was truly amazing working with her.
Hi, my name is TJ Cashman. I work for Premier Building Supply. I am currently the production manager at the facility. The last project I worked on was driver turnaround time. I went into the project thinking that the drivers were spending too much time goofing off and not actually getting ready like they should be. Once you actually sit down and observe the process, you can find the problem or identify the problem that actually needs to be fixed, not based off what you just think it is. I sat down with the yard foreman and discussed how it should be laid out for a better way to load it, He gave me an idea and suggestion, and then I had him go set it out in a more open area, so he'd have the space to look at everything he needed to look at. And doing that, we were able to cut the loading time down from 43 minutes to 18 minutes, which was a 58% decrease in load time.
The demand that we want to see at the DLD gonna increase 4 to 5 times. And in order to incorporate that demand with the time available to see what are the activities that we're doing and to eliminate some waste activities, which means just some minimal changes we accomplished from 8 minutes to 43 seconds to just a 3 minute. Karen, she is amazing because she knows about the lean principle more than I would say anyone. As I'm an industrial engineer, so I thought I was a very arrogant in a way that I know everything. But after coming to the LEI, through the part of the LEI training, I knew that I don't know anything about how the lean thinking and all the lean principle actually work in an environment. So that's the big learning curve for me, that the theory and academic is something else, but once you do it in person, there are so many actors and there are so many variables playing in part.
We have gone back to the leaders of those projects from the first cycle and the second cycle, and we have been able to already document in terms of annual savings because of the direct actions of those teams. We've already recouped 2/3 of the price of the training program. And we fully anticipate to pick up that other third and then some by the time we get to the end, because we're only at the halfway point at that 90-day mark. And so that alone, just the growth in those 14 people, alone were well worth the investment.
The enterprise value that this team could potentially add to the business is $4.3 million on 5 projects.
We made around 3 experiments, and some of them were not successful, but that taught us what we didn't want to do. That just means that we're closer to the right path.
And what we're trying to create is a culture and an organization that just we know how to win through looking in a very systematic way at the problems we deal with every day and how we're going to solve them.